How to take better photos. What I've noticed is that the best way to take better photo, in my opinion, is to study the best picture. So what I usually do for myself, I'm going to do it here in public, so you can benefit from it with this selection of 7 photos. I'm Kevtex. I'm a photographer constantly striving to improve. And in this video, we're going to work together to take your photography skills to the next level by analyzing great images. Be sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to stay tuned. I'll share why this particular photo grabbed my attention, but I'm also eager to hear what you think in the comments, whether you see it the same way or have a completely different opinion. It's all part of the learning process, so feel free to join the conversation. No hard feelings. I also want to share how I choose the photo I select. The one I pick are the kinds of photo I like to create myself. They represent the directions I want my portfolio to evolve. I found this photo mostly in my saved Instagram posts. Many come from Instagram repost accounts that create high quality selection. I don't care much about the photographer's fame, whether they're legendary, well-known, or even unknown. It's all about the image. And by the way, you can send your photo to yourbestpicture at kevtex.com. If I like them, I'll share them. All right, let's go. In the portrait category, I love this photo by Carl Ferris, featuring the model Kate Lynn Moya. The image stands out for its simplicity and elegance. It's a beautiful, composed portrait that captures a quiet moment of reflection and connection with nature. The use of natural light, earthy tones, and a balanced composition create a serene and timeless image. The subject's direct gaze draws the viewers into the scene, making it not just a portrait, but also an experience of calm and contemplation. Overall, the photo brings a feeling of nostalgia, with an almost retro atmosphere due to the swim cap style and the simplicity of the scene. It's a peaceful, almost cinematic image, where everything seems frozen in time. The subject is centered, with her face and hand forming a symmetrical composition. This balance immediately draws attention to her face, which is the focal point of the image. The symmetry is gently disrupted by the natural texture of the wooden dock and the soft ripple of the water, adding a dynamic quality to this otherwise calm scene. The perspective is slightly above the subject, emphasizing her emerging from the water. This angle creates a sense of intimacy and closeness, as the viewer is standing right at the edge of the dock, witnessing this moment of calm. The lighting is soft and diffuse, coming from a natural light. It highlights the subject, providing an even illumination on her face and body without harsh shadow. The warm tones of the light enhance the natural color of her skin and the wooden dock. Subtle reflection on the water and the slight glow on her skin suggest the presence of sunlight, likely at sunset, as seen by the golden reflection on her face. The overall mood of the photograph is peaceful, evoking feeling of solitude, reflection, or even a moment of quiet confidence. The image has a timeless, almost vintage quality, possibly due to the classic swim cap of the overall composition. I would say the lens used must have been a 35mm or 50. Now, in the street photography category, this is a stunning photo by Philip Gladstone. It presents a minimalist and clean composition that immediately draws attention through a strong place of shadows, light, and geometry. The composition is balanced and well structured. It relies on a sharp contrast between the geometric lines of the wall and cross wall, and the organic shapes of the subject, the person and the car. The slightly off-center placement of the person with an umbrella on the left naturally catch the eye, balanced by the vehicle on the right. The division between the white part, wall and cross wall, and the black section, probably the building window on the right, create an interesting visual dynamic while reinforcing the simplicity of the scene. The image uses a color palette dominated by white, black, and a few neutral tones. The uniform white wall and white car with the darker skin and more subtle clothing of the person. This highlights the white umbrella, making it a key element in the scene. Natural lighting is one of the striking elements of this photo, casting soft shadows on the wall and ground, while creating subtle contrast. The shadow lines crossing the frame, probably from wires or poles, add a graphic dimension to the image, breaking the monotony of the wall and energizing the scene. The photo conveys a sense of solitude or personal reflection. The person under the umbrella seems isolated, standing alone on the sidewalk, facing an elegant, motionless car. The umbrella suggests protection, maybe from the sun, or symbolically from the outside world, creating distance between the person and the environment. The car, cropped and stylish, might symbolize modernity or an urban aspect. The fact that the two subjects, the person and the car, don't seem to interact emphasizes this feeling of separation or mutual indifference. The image uses a shallow depth of field, keeping the background sharp and the subject well defined. This allows capturing the texture detail, like the wall, while keeping the main element in focus. The horizontal lines of the crosswalk and the diagonal shadows guide the eye through the image, strengthening the visual impact. The use of large negative space, especially on the white wall, enhance the minimalist effect and create a contemplative mood. The image evokes a feeling of calm and contemplation. The lack of movement, the quietness of the colors, and the apparent solitude of the person under the umbrella contribute to a serene atmosphere with a hint of mystery. Capture a frozen moment in a urban scene where time seems to be suspended. This photograph successfully captures a urban scene through a minimalist and graphic style. The contrast between human form and architectural elements, combined with the subtle use of light and shadows, create a visually captivating and emotionally evocative image. It raises questions about the relationship between human and their modern environment. Now, in the artistic category, this mysterious black and white photo by Helmut Newton used strong contrast and shadows to create a stylish, enigmatic atmosphere. Two women are seated at either sofa wearing black dresses and high heels, each holding a glass of wine. The framing emphasizes their legs and the symmetry of their posture. Their upper body are deliberately cast in the shadows, making their face barely visible. The angle is slightly from below, which elongates their legs even more and enhances a sense of visual dominance or power. The composition is relatively centered, with the legs dominating the image. This reinforces the idea of sensuality, but also suggests a certain emotional coldness or detachment. The photo is lit with a very harsh light source, creating sharp shadows and strong contrast. The leather sofa reflects the light, adding texture and shine to the scene, while the woman's legs are the most illuminated part, becoming the focal point of the image. Deep shadows. The subject's face are almost entirely obscured, adding a layer of anonymity and mystery. The shadows makes the image more intriguing, suggesting that the identity of the people is secondary to what the scene represents, narrative and symbolic elements. By hiding the face, the focus shifts to style and posture, evoking themes of sensuality and elegance while leaving an impression of unpersonality. The crossed legs, high heels, and black dress are classic symbols of femininity, but the photo also plays off stereotypes of luxury, sophistication, and perhaps coldness. The wine glass adds a touch of refinement and could symbolize relaxation, seduction, or a reserve from a pleasure. The decor appears deliberately sparse, with the leather sofa and a window showing a cloudy sky, but the background is blurry and lacks detail. This reinforces the idea that the settings is secondary to the two figures and the atmosphere they project. The image feels cold, distant, and even calculated in its staging. The absence of visible facial expression makes it difficult to interpret the emotion of the subject, creating a sense of tension. The viewer may feel both elegance and mystery, but also a sense of unease due to the lack of clear emotional connection. This photo skillfully combines minimalism, contrast, and symbolism to evoke an elegant yet mysterious scene. It plays with the code of femininity and luxury while maintaining a cold and calculated distance, creating an image that is both seductive and enigmatic. And now in the fashion category. This image by Sang-Ku Bang is marked by a natural and clean aesthetic, with a subtle use of light and texture, creating a nostalgic and contemplative mood. This photo is a subtle and well thought out composition that blends the simplicity of nature with modern sophistication. It plays on themes of distance, introspection, and visual contrast between nature and elegance. The image captures attention with its balance between minimalism and detail, while leaving a sense of ambiguity and mystery. The photo features two women standing back to back in a wheat field. Their body and posture suggest a certain distance, both physical and symbolic, while visually connected by their similar hats. Broken symmetry. Although the two women are almost symmetrically aligned, the slight tilt of one and different
difference in hairstyle and clothing create an interesting contrast. The woman on the left is shown from behind, while the woman on the right is in profile, adding variation to the composition. The wheat field occupied much of the image and framed the subject, giving a sense of immersion. The background, consisting of blurry trees under a clear sky, leaves space for the eye to focus on the two main figures. This photo strongly evokes the aesthetic of fashion photography due to its careful attention to styling, atmosphere, and staging. The black lace clothing of the model contrasts with the natural surrounding, and the straw hats create a striking juxtaposition between sophisticated elegance and a rural setting, a contrast often explored in fashion. The poised and contemplative pose of the two women standing back to back create a visually impactful position, typical of editorial photography aiming to tell a story while showcasing the outfits. Natural lights, minimalist color palettes, and tight framing also enhance the stylized nature of the image.
In the landscape category,
this image by Luke Stackpole captures a breathtaking mountain landscape with a mirror-like lake, where the careful composition and serene atmosphere create an almost unreal scene. The photo is symmetrical, centered on the near-perfect reflection of the mountain in the calm lake water. This creates a visual illusion of continuity between the land and water, blurring the boundaries between them. Line of boats. A series of small wooden boats is arranged diagonally in the lake, forming a gentle curve. This line of boats subtly guides the eye through the image, contrasting with the imposing mass of the mountain. Their terracotta colors stand out against the cooler, more neutral tones of the surrounding landscape. Towering mountains. The mountain dominates the background with striking detail, revealing steep, partly snow-covered peaks battle in sunlight. They create a sense of depth and scale, highlighting the vastness of the landscape. Golden light. The sun softly illuminates the mountain slope with a golden hue, likely during the golden hour, just after sunrise or before sunset. This subtle glow warms the peaks while leaving deep shadow in the valley, adding contrast and texture to the photo. The palette is dominated by cool and natural tones. The deep blue of the water, the rocky grays of the mountain, and the dark greens of the surrounding forest. The wooden boats add a touch of warmer color that catch the eye, slightly breaking the uniformity of the cool tone. Perfect reflection. The water is so calm that it creates an almost perfect mirror of the mountain. This reflection could symbolize tranquility, balance, or the purity of nature. Also reinforce the idea of timelessness, as if the scene is frozen in a peaceful, unchanging moment. Empty boats. The boats suggest human interaction, but the lack of passenger creates an atmosphere of solitude and contemplation. They seem to wait, suspending in time, adding to the impression of timelessness and serenity. Isolation and grandeur. The combination of majestic mountains, calm lake, and the absence of people evoke a feeling of isolation, but also a deep respect for the grandeur of nature.
And now in the love category.
This black and white photograph by Vladan Linsenko stands out for its ability to capture a vivid, spontaneous moment full of energy and emotion. The image shows a couple running through the rain, centered in a lively urban setting, making it a powerful example of dynamic storytelling through photography. Movements and energy. The couple's forward motion is palpable. The man, shirtless with tattoos, holds his coat over his partner as they dash through the rain. Their joyful expression and the rain-soaked scene create an immediate sense of vitality and spontaneity. The viewer can almost feel the urgency of their movements, making the scene come alive. Emotional depth. The woman's bright smile and the man's perspective gesture add an intimate layer to the image. Their carefree attitude contrasts with the chaotic urban environment, enhancing the emotional impact. The coat, held above the woman, symbolizes love and protection, giving the scene a romantic touch. The black and white palette strips away distraction, emphasizing contrast and texture. The absence of color enhances the timeless quality of the photo, while the interplay of light and shadow adds drama. The reflection on the wet street and the raindrops, which glisten against the dark backdrop, bring a tactile, almost cinematic quality to the shoot. The cityscape, though blurred, grounds the scene in a bustling urban environment. The blurred car light in the background highlight the fast pace of city life, contrasting with the couple's intimate moments, which feel suspending in time. Overall, this photograph excels in capturing the spontaneity, energy, and raw emotion of a fleeting moment, making it both visually compelling and emotionally resonant. And now in the random category. This black and white photograph by Flavio Fronja excels in its striking contrast and minimalist approach, creating a captivating and introspective scene featuring two cats, one black, one white, sitting behind a rain-covered window. The photo invites a deeper exploration of its symbolism and atmosphere. Key strength: powerful contrast and symbolism. The most striking feature of the image is the contrast between the two cats. The black cat, almost entirely hidden in shadows, with only its eyes visible, evoke mystery and intrigue. Meanwhile, the white cat, illuminated by soft light, symbolizes clarity and serenity. This juxtaposition of light and dark can be interpreted as representation of duality, yin and yang, or the balance between opposites. Despite its simplicity, the photo carries significant emotion and narrative depth. The cat's position behind the window bars add a geometric element, subtly suggesting confinement or separation. This simplicity draws the viewer's attention directly to the cats, allowing the emotional impact of their stillness and the tension between shadows and light to take center stage. The black and white format amplifies the drama of the scene, highlighting the texture, especially the raindrops of the window. These raindrops create a visual barrier between the viewer and the subject, enhancing the mood of isolation and quiet introspection. The lighting softly illuminates the white cat, while the black cat remains engulfed in shadows, intensifying the mysterious atmosphere. Emotional and symbolic elements. Mystery and contemplation. The black cat's piercing eyes, emerging from the darkness, create an enigmatic tone, while the white cat's calm and peaceful demeanor provide a sense of quiet contemplation. Together, they evoke a mood of introspection, as if the cats are silently observing beyond the window. The bars in the foreground, along with the rain on the glass, enhance the feeling of separation or distance. This symbolism could suggest a theme of isolation or solitude, while the peaceful expression of the cats imply they are content in their space, offering a more contemplative reflection on solitude. Overall, this photograph succeeds in creating a thought-provoking and emotionally rich scene. Its use of contrast, minimalism, and texture offer both visual and symbolic depth, making it a powerful study in duality, introspection, and the quiet beauty found in simplicity. Alright, let me know what you think in the comments about my favorite selection of the week. And if you want your shot to be featured, send them to yourbestpicture@kevtex.com. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on the notification to help support this series. Until then, keep shooting, keep learning, and keep improving.